Hello, everyone. My name is Gurjat Basra, and I'm the Manager of Patient Programs, Research, and Advocacy here at Lymphoma Canada. As our chair, Dr. David McDonald mentioned in the introduction, today we are joined here by Jose and Genevieve, who will be sharing their patient and caregiver stories. We are so pleased to have you both join us today, and you can get started as soon as you're ready.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. This is my journey that I will be sharing with you. Before my journey began, as you can tell here in my pictures, um, funny enough, I could eat what I wanted. I could nap when I wanted, as my sister could vouch.
Long naps. You would take about a nap from 12 to 4 and then go back to bed at 8 till the next morning.
Literally. Um, Exercising was not for me. Um, I noticed something was wrong with me in November 2023. My back was really, really sore all the time. Um, and I thought that was from working at a desk. I worked in an office, worked from home. I was sweating a lot, and I thought that was due to stress. I wasn't eating as much. And I again thought that that was from stress. I
Yeah.
had noticed a few lumps, a few pimples, kind of like lumps under my armpits. So I had stopped shaving less frequently. So I had also gone to my family doctor to see if there was anything wrong with me. She had done all the normal blood work and nothing had come back. Everything was regular. The pain in my back wouldn't subside. So I had gone to see a masseuse. My sister had recommended somebody really, really good. I'd gone to see her a few times. She would do her work and everything would be good. She said that nothing seemed out of the ordinary for my back. The third time I'd gone to see her for my back, um, I had told her that I had started to feel burning sensation on my breast. She had told me that that's something I should see my doctor again about because that wasn't normal. So I went back to see my doctor. My family doctor told me that that could be just something wrong with my skin. She told me that I should get a cortisone cream and that we would see each other back in a month. I'm back the month later. Still a burning sensation, still with a back pain. What's wrong with me? Let's go now to May. Went January, February, March, April. Did all the tests with my family doctor. Nothing worked. Nothing came back abnormal. I've been taking Tylenol every 4 hours, back creams, CBD for the pain. Nothing worked. I was now taking naps at lunch, um, going to bed at 3 after work, like my sister was saying, really long naps, going to bed at 7, waking up the next morning at 6 to go to work. Nothing was working. I was in so much pain and out of breath, I couldn't even go up the stairs. May 7th, I ended up having to go to the emergency because I couldn't I couldn't deal with the pain. I went to the emergency. First thing I asked them is, what's wrong with me? I can't even walk. I can't deal with this pain. The triage nurse said to me, oh, this looks like a urinary tract infection. No big deal. Sit back down. As soon as the doctor can see you, we'll figure this out. For now, just take a urine test. Perfect for the test. Came back negative. Says, okay, so we'll do the blood work. Blood work came back. No news. I'm in so much pain, I can barely sit. My mom came to see me at the emergency, and of course, there's a massive wait because it's the emergency. Uh, my mother went home to make dinner. My sister came to relieve her and sit with me. they told me I could take a shot for the pain. And I said I didn't want to take it, but they advised to. That one really, really hurt. So I took it while we waited, and then they sent me for an x-ray. That was the first thing, right? The x-ray. So we went for that. The x-ray technician told me it looked like it was pneumonia and nothing to worry about. They asked me if I had had pneumonias before because it could be a reoccurring pneumonia. So I wasn't too worried. By then, I just wanted to go home because if it was just pneumonia, no big deal. Okay. By then, the shot for the pain had stopped working. So she gave me a second shot, the nurse, for the pain, which that one it felt somewhat like 10 bees giving me this stinging, really awkward. And then they told me that I had liquid or fluids in my lungs, so that they had to take that out of my lungs. Very scary stuff. So here's an image. There was actually 2 liters extracted from my right lung. And it worried the doctor. So she said that they had to send that one for an exam and to find out exactly what that was for, or what it was, why I had that in my lung, because they weren't sure exactly why it was there. And again, I asked the doctor that was at the emergency, what is going on? Because if that was in my lung, was it still a pneumonia? And she said, yeah, we're just figuring it out. It's still just in the process of elimination. I said, okay, I'm freaking out at this point. And I said, could it be cancer? So at this point, we're still in the elimination, and cancer is one of the last things that we're looking at. So then the doctor at the emergency sent the fluid for analysis. And she said, the next step is you're going to go for a CT scan. Again, feeling really scared. I kept asking, do I have cancer? I had this feeling in my gut. I said, I have this feeling. It's really not pneumonia. It has to be something worse. I feel like I'm dying. Do I have cancer? She says, no, we're not even going there. It's really not that yet. We're just getting the fluid analysis done. You're going to get called for a CT scan. Before I left the emergency, I actually had the call. I was going for a CT scan the next morning. The next morning, I went for the CT scan. The technician there told me, you still have fluid in your lungs. So you're going to have to come back and see another doctor that is there. And he will empty out the rest of the fluid that you have left. So I did. This time, my sister had to go to work that day. So my dad came with me. My dad doesn't like needles. Uh, he said, I'll go with you, no problem. I will drive you. Is it okay if I don't sit in the room with you while you get your liquid taken out? Problem. Sat in the room with the emergency doctor. He sat me down, and he had a student with him. And he said to me, doesn't look good. You have a mass, and you have a whole bunch of masses and a whole bunch of nodules and everything else on your right side of your lungs and into your chest. Someone must have already told you this. Doesn't look good at all. It's terminal lung cancer. I went from 0 to 1,000. Panic. No one had told me anything. I was still under the impression it was either pneumonia, and that liquid that they had called pleural effusion in my right lung was getting, sorry, I'm looking for the word, was getting analyzed. So when the doctor told me that it was terminal lung cancer and that all the cases that he had seen, like mine, 99% chances terminal, that he had seen like this, I kept saying, I will not be a grandmother. I will not see my youngest graduate high school. How can I do this? I can't tell my family. I can't tell anybody. I'm not going to live past my 44th birthday. He asked me if I wanted something to calm me down. I said, no. He said, who did you come with? I said, my father. He said, would you like your father to come in the room? And I said, no, thank you. He will die of a heart attack. I said, I would like to leave so I can process. So I left. How did you process? This would be your time because I left. I had to explain it to everybody.
And this is the part where I find there was no help. No social worker to help deal with how, to explain to family how she can deal with the fact that, she was just been told she has less than 6 months to live, and there's pretty much nothing she can do. There's no positive, no encouragement that, there is that 1% that she might survive it. Just, wait for the doctors, wait for, a plan, wait for at least the analyze of the liquid. No, it's, go home. You have 6 months left to live. How can a person deal with that? And that's probably this will live with her for the rest of her life. And, she should have had help, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, even, anyone to help her deal with that. So then what we did is the next day we went to another emergency for a second opinion. Um, we did wait the 8 hours, which is not a problem. To have the next doctor tell her, why are you here? So basically this, which I get the doctors, you see a lot of this in the emergency room, but why wasn't there someone else to speak to my sister instead of just saying, why are you here? You had, you already seen a doctor yesterday. He told you had less than 6 months to live. This is probably what you have. Again. So, yeah.
Okay. So I had to tell my family, my children, my sister, um, the person that actually bothered my kids told me to go get a biopsy. So I called back the emergency doctor and I asked him for a biopsy. And I asked him what were my chances because I told him, you told me 99% of your cases turned out terminal. I am going to be the 1%. So we ended up getting a biopsy. I ended up being the 1% of the liquid being non-cancerous. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin lymphoma. As you can tell from the image, it had gone into my chest, my lung, and a bit into my stomach. I was told by the emergency doctor that this was the best cancer that I could have. So this means that my lymph nodes were cancerous in more than one organ. So it was now in my chest, in my lungs, and somewhere in my stomach. But I do have a fantastic oncologist named Dr. McDonald. When I met him, he told me that even at stage 4, I still had the 80% chance of beating this cancer. And I loved his phrase. He does 50% of the work with the chemo, and I do 50% of the work. So what I had to do is keep a positive morale, a positive attitude. I have to exercise, and I have to eat well. With his 50%, it's the chemotherapy. So it'll be every 2 weeks. It's a 2.5 hour of infusion, um, which after 2 sessions, as you can tell, I've lost my hair. There's weight gain, there's muscle aches, constipation. There's injections that I have to do every 2 weeks to keep my immune system up between sessions. I've also had, which is normal, an allergic reaction to some medicines, and that's really important to let your oncologist know so that they can adapt all the medicines that they give you so that you don't get nausea. Now, the 50% that he told me that I have to keep up, which was fantastic. The positive thinking, the morale, the healthy eating, the exercise, um, as the images are up here at the moment. Um, so, like I had said at the beginning of my slideshow, I wasn't the person that used to exercise. My sister was the person that exercises every day. She used to ask me all the time, Jose, come exercise with me. And I would not because I didn't have the energy. Well, I do now. So, what Dr. McDonald had told me was, please, every day, you need to exercise at least 30 minutes. So, even if it's 10 minutes at the beginning of the day, 10 minutes in the middle, 10 minutes at the end of the day, do it because it will help wonders. It did. I started at the beginning with the 10, 10, 10 to equal 30 minutes. And I can tell you, I do 30 minutes speed walking every morning now, and it is my new addiction. I also eat healthy fruits, vegetables, fibers as part of my diet now. Um, and the positive thinking and the support. I have the best family. I have pictures up there. My sister is my person. I have the best parents. I have the best friends in there. She has, her daughter is amazing. Without them, they are non-judgmental. I get to say how I feel all the time. That is, you need the best support to get through this. And with that, when you do these infusions, I have a 12 treatment program. And after the first four, Dr. McDonald and his staff, which are absolutely amazing, they had told me that I get a PET scan. So this is a scan to tell you, it gets to show you your whole body to make sure that the chemo is working. And if it's not, then we readjust. Well, after 4 infusions, I was in remission. It is working. So I get to do the 12 treatments as planned, but as these images show, the one on the left was my before picture. The one on the right is my picture as of now. I'm in remission. So it works. It really does. The 50% chemo, the 50% of me doing the work. And here's my advice to everybody. Feel the feels. Fight your way. It is very important. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Josie and Genevieve, for sharing your patient and caregiver stories. I know this can be very difficult to share, and I'm sure our audience can resonate with some of the emotions. So, thank you again for shedding light on the patient and caregiver journey. I would like to remind our audience that you can visit the resources tab on this platform to access patient resources. We have both subtype specific information or general information in regards to side effects management and living with lymphoma. With that said, I would now like to direct your attention to attend the next session titled Lymphoma 101 for newly diagnosed patients. Thank you, everyone, and see you there.